Hey, what's up guys? Matt with the Movement System. In this video, we're going to take you into the gym for a training session with professional basketball player Anaya Radisha, and we're going to show you the elements of a 30-minute speed training session. In this video, we're going to break it down to a 5-minute dynamic warm-up, 20 minutes of quality speed training work, and then 5 minutes of speed conditioning work at the end. So we'll start with the elements of an effective dynamic warm-up for a speed training session, and then give you 5 speed training drills to spend 5 minutes on each to make up a full 30-minute training session. This is going to be good for basketball players as well as any other field sport athletes looking to build speed and agility for your sport. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So to start off with a dynamic warm-up, I like to include skipping drills whenever we're working on a speed training session. The main benefit of skipping drills is that they're very coordinated and rhythmic, and they can help us start to work on firing our muscles together efficiently. One big part of being able to sprint faster is to be able to coordinate muscle actions together quickly. So if we can get our muscles firing very quickly together and teach our muscle spindles to tighten early with drills like A-skips or other skipping variations, then we can see that translate into helping us activate those fast twitch muscle fibers and see more speed in our speed training session. Some other things to fill out your 5-minute dynamic warm-up could be things like a walking lunge with an overhead reach, or other hip mobility drills to open up the hips, get through full range of motion, so that way you're ready to go with your speed training session. So for this speed training session, we started with acceleration specific training. Acceleration training can be linear or multi-directional. We started with linear acceleration work here. So the point of doing repeated accelerations is that we can actually coach elements of that acceleration technique and improve them, rather than when we're just in a sport game, we just kind of go to our go-to movement pattern. So by doing repetitions where we're practicing the same movement over and over again, we can coach specific elements of acceleration. For example, we can work on a more aggressive forward lean position. We can work on stride rate. You will want to make this acceleration specific to the athlete's individual needs, but something like 5 or 6 repetitions of a 10-meter sprint can be a good way to practice acceleration. After 5 minutes of acceleration work, we can move into 5 minutes of multi-directional work. So this could involve backpedaling and shuffling, or a combination of those movements. For example, if we've been working with a player who's been playing high because they had a hip injury and they can't get quite as low, we can work on these drills to help them get lower and produce more horizontal propulsive and deceleration forces. Again, we're not necessarily going to get this in a game situation, but by doing repetitions over and over again of the same movement pattern, we can actually make a change to that movement pattern and get the athlete progressively lower and more efficient. For this 5 minutes of multi-directional acceleration work, we were specifically working on a Z-cone drill, which involves shuffling and backpedaling, or shuffling and forward sprinting in a Z position, as well as a backpedal to turn and sprint drill. Now, all of that multi-direction work up to this point has been pre-planned, meaning she knew the route already, but we also want to work in some agility or change of direction work that's unplanned, and it requires more of a cognitive perceptual demand. Meaning that, for example, we can do the Y-cone drill where we're running up to a cone and then giving the athlete a stimulus or a cue to go one way or another. We can do this sport specific by incorporating a ball with a bounce pass, or we can just do it with a verbal cue. There are a ton of different options for what you can do for reactive agility work. We just want to make sure we're balancing pre-planned change of direction drills to work on specifically change of direction speed mechanics, but also training the agility component as well. After that agility work is a great time to work on deceleration specific drills. These drills involve eccentric overload, or lengthening the muscles to slow you down. So these are quite demanding, and I tend to put them towards the end of a training session when possible. There are a lot of things we can cue with deceleration. For example, dropping the hips and lowering the center of mass. And we can make a pretty significant improvement in deceleration mechanics with these cues. What we want to see over time is the athlete being able to handle aggressive decelerations from faster movement over time. So you may start with just a 5-meter or 5-yard run up to a deceleration, and then over time progress that to a 10-yard run up or even a 20-yard run up, where you're getting closer to full speed and then decelerating. Deceleration is a big component of speed for field sport athletes who are going to have to change direction many times in a game. So being able to accelerate efficiently also needs to come with being able to decelerate efficiently. And then a good drill to finish out a speed training session, if you have the equipment available, is something like a sled pull. This is a bit more conditioning focused because it's not going to be true max speed work or slowing the athlete down with a sled. However, that can be really great to overload the muscles and build conditioning for being able to repeatedly perform speed training over and over again, many repetitions in a workout. There are other good options for conditioning as well. If you have access to a hill, you can do hill accelerations or incline runs, or you can just do slightly longer speed drills like running down and back on the field, maybe once, twice, 3 times to again build the conditioning so that way you can handle a higher amount of speed training. These conditioning drills though aren't meant to be at true max speed. They're meant to be at sub-maximal speeds, but with more resistance with an incline or with a sled, or with more distance than you would typically sprint with conditioning drills. This is especially important in the off-season training period. Hopefully this gives you a really good grasp on how to structure a 30-minute efficient speed training session. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you're studying for the CSCS exam or you just want to learn more, you can join the Strength and Conditioning Study Group on Facebook. Link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.